Manchester City's owners don't just own Manchester City. They own 12 football clubs across 5 continents, and they're not the only ones doing this. Red Bull owns clubs in Leipzig, Salzburg, New York, and Bragantino. The Pozzo family has owned Watford, Udinese, and Granada simultaneously. A single investment fund now controls shares in clubs across France, Belgium, Argentina, and India. This isn't just rich people collecting football clubs like trophies. It's a calculated business strategy that's creating something the sport has never seen before: football monopolies. And it's completely legal. Multi-club ownership, or MCO, is exactly what it sounds like. A single entity, whether it's an investment group, a sovereign wealth fund, or a corporation, owns or holds stakes in multiple football clubs across different leagues and countries. The most prominent example is City Football Group, owned primarily by Abu Dhabi's Sheikh Mansour. They own Manchester City in England, New York City FC in America, Melbourne City in Australia, Mumbai City in India, Girona in Spain, Troyes in France, Palermo in Italy, and several others. These aren't unrelated investments. They're a coordinated network that operates as a single global business. The first and most obvious advantage is player development and transfer efficiency. In a single club model, a club scouts a player, signs them, develops them, and either plays them or sells them. The entire process is expensive and risky. Most young players don't develop into first-team quality. In a multi-club model, the network acts as a funnel. A promising teenager is identified by scouts working across all clubs in the network. They're signed to a smaller club in the system, say Lommel in Belgium or Montevideo City Torque in Uruguay, where they can develop with regular playing time. If they improve, they move up the ladder, maybe to Girona in Spain, then potentially to Manchester City. At every stage, the player stays within the same ownership group. No transfer fee is lost to an external club. The entire value chain stays in-house. If the player doesn't develop into Manchester City quality, but still becomes a solid professional, they're sold externally at a profit. But the selling club is still within the network, so the profits flow back to the same owners. This is essentially vertical integration applied to football. The same principle that allows Apple to control everything from chips to software to retail stores, applied to developing and monetizing football talent. Multi-club ownership creates commercial advantages that go far beyond player transfers. Sponsorship deals can be negotiated across the entire portfolio. A global brand that might not be able to afford Manchester City alone might pay for visibility across 12 clubs spanning multiple continents. The combined reach is enormous. Data and analytics can be shared across the network. Scouting databases, performance metrics, coaching methodologies, all of these are developed centrally and deployed across every club. A tactical insight discovered in Melbourne can be applied in Manchester. Merchandise, media rights, and brand partnerships can be coordinated globally. City Football Group doesn't just sell Manchester City jerseys. They market the entire City Football brand as a lifestyle and entertainment portfolio. This is where things get controversial. Multi-club ownership creates opportunities for financial arrangements that raise questions about fair competition. When Manchester City needs to comply with financial fair play regulations, they can sell a player to Girona, a club they also own, at an agreed price. Critics argue these intra-group transfers can be used to inflate revenue or distribute costs in ways that don't reflect genuine market transactions. Additionally, buying clubs in leagues with lower costs, Belgium, Uruguay, France's second division, provides cheap development pathways that more expensive leagues can't match. It's a structural cost advantage built into the ownership model. Regulators have struggled to keep up. UEFA and individual football associations have rules about clubs under common ownership competing in the same tournament. But the global nature of these networks often falls between regulatory jurisdictions. City Football Group is valued at over $5 billion. They reportedly turned profitable across the portfolio, with Manchester City alone generating over $600 million in annual revenue. Red Bull's football portfolio is estimated to generate over $1 billion in combined revenue across their clubs. The number of clubs involved in multi-club ownership structures has exploded, from a handful a decade ago to over 200 clubs globally today. Private equity firms, sovereign wealth funds, and American sports investors are driving this growth. The trajectory is clear. Football is consolidating. The era of independent clubs competing on equal footing is being replaced by networked conglomerates that leverage scale, data, and financial engineering to dominate. That's the profit equation behind multi-club ownership. It's not about loving football. It's about building a vertically integrated talent pipeline, a globally coordinated commercial platform, and a financial structure that gives networked owners advantages that single club owners simply cannot match. Whether this is good or bad for football depends on who you ask, but the business logic is undeniable. Subscribe for more breakdowns every Tuesday and Friday. Free weekly analysis at the link in the description.